Hello, hello. Veteran Series Forum, here we are. All right. It sounds so quiet.
It's a little bit quiet.
Yeah, okay, here we go. The Veteran Series Forum is here to connect veterans to veterans and veterans to valued resources. We bring on impactful speakers to cover key relevant issues in the veteran community. We want to streamline the medical process by education and having the veterans' voices heard. So great to have you here. Omar, you are my speaker today. Let me introduce you and who you are. As people join, I'll let them in. Omar Becerra, U.S. Army, Sergeant First Class, combat veteran, leadership instructor, shares his journey today, 21 years in the military, to a successful professional career in the financial world. So producing director with PHP Agency. And yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that. If anybody knows what allegedly means or the future is bright. So anyways, let me see. We've got some people waiting to come in right now. As I'm letting them in. Hello, hello, you guys. Welcome, welcome. I just introduced Omar Becerra. This is our speaker for today. Thank you for coming on the Veteran Series. What we're going to do right now is introduce you guys. So give me 30 seconds of who you are, name, branch that you served in, or resource that you're with. And let's start with Angie. And just so you guys know, you're all muted, so you can unmute when you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Angela Aristizabal. I'm actually Omar's sister.
Hey, welcome. Good to
Hey,
have you.
how are you? Thank
Good,
you.
good.
Thank you for the invite. Couldn't miss it.
Definitely. I'm excited. Look how excited I am.
Originally,
The little Valuetainment logo. It's really tiny, but it's big in my heart.
It's perfect. Absolutely. That's all that matters. Big in your heart.
Right. Well, thank you for being here. And now we have Suzanne with Canine Armor. We love to hear this introduction. You're muted though, Suzanne.
Hey, that worked. I'm so sorry. Thank you for standing by for technical difficulties. Can you hear me now?
Yes, 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 yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Christine, my dear friend. So yeah, I'm in Culver City and I'm sort of surrounded by the fire zone. So I'm so glad that I was able to join you this evening. And thank you to all the veterans that come to this meeting. And although I am not a veteran, I did start a charity called Canine Armor. And Christine and I have given out multiple bulletproof vests to police dogs, some of whom belong to former U.S. Navy and U.S. veterans of Marines. I think the Officer Castile that we gave a vest to for his dog at Fountain Valley was also a Navy SEAL Team 6 dog. And I just love them all to death. And there is one on Riverside now that the deputy is a former Marine, and his dog has an old Kevlar vest that we used to give and we still do, but we now give the new Canine Storm vest because they can wear it all day to help them from ambush. And as you know, there's been increase in crime where there's a disaster, there's terrible people that ruin it for everybody, but then there's all the people that are pouring out with support. So I don't want to take money away from good charities that are trying to help these people, but those doggies are out there. I saw them on the news in the fire zone, helping to protect against looters and all the nonsense and the doggies that are searching. So if you can contribute to caninearmor.com, and you can see Christine and I in multiple photos together through the years. It's been like at least what it feels like 10 years. I've been doing it 20 years, but I won't hog the rest of this interview. So thank you so much, Christine, for all the wonderful work that you do supporting our veterans. God bless all of you. And for those of you transitioning to Copland, if you ever become K-9 officers, I might see you later. Thanks, Christine.
Definitely love having you, Suzanne. I have a gift for you. We're gonna have to connect later. It's great to have you on and have you do what you do, definitely. And Fireflies, I don't know your name. Maybe Adrian. If you want to introduce yourself, unmute. You don't have to turn on your camera if you guys don't want to. And Roy, we're doing introductions right now. I'd love to have an introduction. If you can keep it brief right now, and we'll do open forum at the second half. But for right now, give us your name, your service, your nonprofit name, and then we'll get back to, more at the end on what you're working on for sure.
Okay, I'm Sergeant Roy Two Bears De La Rosa, United States Marine Corps, Vietnam era, founder of the Native American Veterans Association, that which we began over 23 years ago. Very proud of that. We knew that the only way we were going to bring veterans to home, transition them to health, was the Indian way. With that, the Native American Veterans Association has always opened itself to all ethnicities. Our membership is made up of all races. We're all brothers. And my nonprofit right now is Native American Made. And it has been my dream to create a new voice for the seventh generation, the young people, the veterans of the longest war. So go to nativeamericanmade.org and take a look at us.
Yeah, and we're definitely hearing more from you before we close out tonight.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And again, let me tell you who our guest speaker is today. It's Omar Becerra, U.S. Army Sergeant First Class, leader, combat veteran. He is a marketing producer with one of the top financial companies, PHP agency. Again, here's an idea, allegedly. Future is bright, but I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor to Omar and let him share so he can share an amazing message.
Thank you, Christine, for that intro. Good evening, everybody. My name is Omar Becerra. Like Christine mentioned, veteran, actually still currently serving in the reserve aspect. This will be my last year serving, so I'll be retiring by December with 22 years of service. They're trying to keep me in, but that's it for me. I got time to hit my boots, right? Like Christine said, I'm in the financial services world, part of PHP agency, right? Christine is wearing a Valuetainment shirt. So if anybody don't know who our company is, might have heard of our founder and CEO, Mr. Patrick Bet-David. He is the founder of Valuetainment and PVD podcast. So a lot of people have known him just because of the media aspect. Just recently had the interview before the election with President Trump. So very, very great leader as well. Prior service military, serving the 101 Airborne U.S. Army. Myself being U.S. Army as well. So definitely have an alignment with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of kind of like what we're trying to do here, especially myself and my team, is we're trying to educate our families, especially the veteran community, trying to catch the young vets and even the ones that are still serving in, to give them some financial education. A lot of times, or majority of times, we don't know too much about finances. We just kind of struggle and stumble through it and make things happen. But reality, we don't have the financial education. They didn't teach it to us in high school. They don't teach it to us in college. They didn't teach it to us in the military. So a lot of us don't have that background until we get ourselves into a field. They start literally teaching it to us, right? So that's one thing that we're trying to do, bring value to the communities, right? Trying to educate people as well, give them an additional source of income. Some people are just looking to save money. Some people are trying to protect their families, protect their homes, right? Some people are just looking to make some additional income, especially the way economy is. Everything's going up on prices, right? But our salary is not going up. A lot of times, some people just need a flexible way to create additional income. We actually provide that, as a lot of our agents work. One, they don't have an actual schedule, so they determine the schedule. And a lot of them work in a part-time base. So really easy way to make additional income in a part-time ways while controlling your own time, right? So who doesn't want to control their own time and their income? right?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool, cool. So one thing, if anybody wants to jump in and have any questions as I'm speaking and saying anything, feel free to mute yourself. Don't worry about it on interrupting me. It is completely fine. Right? So anytime, just feel free. So one thing that I definitely try to educate people is just and trying to share and bring the perspective, like how often do we actually see veterans transferring generational wealth? Not often, right? Usually we don't. A lot of vets do their time 4, 5, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, they get out, and all they have is that little pension that the military is going to be paying them. Now, in future generations, they're not even getting that because the pensions went away. Now it's just a TSP, which is basically a 401k. So it's some money that you're going to be putting under and shoving it to the market and pray to God that it works out.
Ouch.
Yes, exactly. Is you have no guarantees. There's nothing to be like, oh, that's gonna work out for you, right? So we're trying to do is once is educate them, give different type of products and services they're able to acquire while they're still serving, or once they're out of the military. On the civilian side, there's so much resources. Yes, the VA is great and they give you a lot of resources to take care of yourself, but there's some limitations, right? There's a lot of limitations. Quick example. Life insurance. Life insurance is one of the products that we focus the most. Why? Because that is the easiest way to transfer some generational wealth, right? There's one thing, unfortunately, and it's sad to say, but it's only one thing that's guaranteed in life, which is death. It happens to everybody. That's the one thing. But guess what? What if we actually can set up our families so whenever we're no longer here, they're in a better place financially, right? So that's the one thing we definitely trying to educate families. And when we're in the military, we think we're invincible and we have a SGLI. If anything happened to us, our family is taken care of. But what happened when we leave the military? We can join the VA, right? And we can transfer our SGLI to the VGLI, which is the Veterans Group Life Insurance. Once again, it's just a group life insurance product. And it goes up in price every 3 years. By the time you hit that normal retirement age, about like 65, 67, it average about $789 or so. Average veteran already at that retirement age can't afford that. So that's what they don't have some type of life insurance. So when they pass away, they can't leave any kind of money for their families. So that's one thing we actually trying to educate them so they can actually get some outside product with a lot lower cost. They have a lot more benefits built into it instead of just $20,000, $30,000 it's going to be for a burial, right? As well, sometimes we don't think about protecting individuals and setting them up since they're young, kids, children, right? Our parents, with some individuals that have their parents, they're not even thinking about what if something were to happen. Majority of families don't have enough savings for big emergencies. Now we're talking about big emergencies. We're having a big one right here in California, right? Unfortunately, some families have lost some loved ones. Now, imagine you lose your home, you lose everything you had, and then you just lose a loved one. That's an additional expense to everything that's happening. So emotionally, you're gonna be all over the place. Now, financially, where are you at, right? Lost and sauce. So definitely trying to bring some value on educating families, utilizing different life products, right? A lot of people have money in their old 401ks. They don't know what to do with it. TSPs coming out from the military, and they're like, what do I do with this money? If you pull it out, you're going to get penalized. They have no idea where to put that money at. We're able to help them move it to a lot of different places where they can actually protect their money, guarantee they won't lose a single penny, ability to gain money with the market, right? And able to have a lifetime income distribution. So I have a bunch of different tools, right? We'll be able to protect families, save their money, make more money.
And right, you guys have debt solutions. So
Yes,
oftentimes
as well, we have debt solutions. So we work with the main products we usually work with is life insurance, so term policies, permanent policies, final expense. We do living benefits. A lot of people are not familiar with living benefits. I'll explain that right now in a couple of seconds. We also do retirement planning. We do rollovers, 401ks, Roth IRAs, regular IRAs, traditional IRAs rollovers into annuities, especially right now, fixed index annuities, which is the bread and butter of the market when it comes to a guarantee way of having money, having been able to grow it without losing a single penny. As well, we work with small businesses. Small business, we try to save them money, save some of that tax money, or reallocate some of that tax money that we're paying our great Uncle Sam. Yeah. And instead of paying everything to Uncle Sam, we reallocate some of the money, so we give it to our employees on different type of executive bonus plans or key man plans, anything kind of like that. And as well, debt solutions. There's some veterans, and unfortunately, we get ourselves stuck into debt, right? So we actually are partnered up with a company called Debt Solutions. They're part of PHP partnership, and they're able to help our families get out of debt through their programs, right? So it's another referral program that we have. So it's a lot of different ways. Now, one thing I did mention was living benefits. A lot of people normally, because we're familiar with SGLI, the VGLI that we get in the military, they just think, well, it's only gonna get paid when we pass away, right? That's the traditional experience that most people have when it comes to life insurance. Well, the new style of life insurance actually gives you access to that policy while you're still alive. So God forbid, no, the individual that has that policy gets a terminal illness, less than 24. A doctor tell the individual, you know what, you have less than 24 months to live. If you get a chronic illness, critical injury, here in California, approved recently, Alzheimer's, right? You're able to access, depending on the policy, 80% of the death benefit while you're still alive. So it's a great thing, because the one thing that we don't have is a good foundation when it comes to our finances, and living benefits gives us that foundation. Christine, I want to share something. I want to ask you a quick question, so you can help me out with this. Do you happen to know how long it takes the average family to recover financially once the main breadwinner passes away?
4 or 5 years.
Actually, it takes 10 years.
Oh my
On
God.
average, it takes 10 years. So majority of the time, individuals go, "Oh, I got a life insurance in my job, right? I'm fine. How much is it? $10,000,
Oh,
$100,000." They're making $100,000 a year. How long is $100,000 gonna last them? A year, right? So we have different tools to calculate exactly how much is your insurable needs, right? Because nobody's trying to overshoot somebody. We're trying to educate on what they actually need for their family, to make sure that families are protected, right? So making sure everything's completely balanced. We also help with a lot of people own homes, right? But they don't have those homes insured. They have the insurance that's required by the state, but what happens if an individual either passes away or gets a bad health condition, right? Like a cancer, heart attack, coma, stroke, blindness, anything like that, where your income now is going to get affected. With a policy with living benefits, now you're able to access that. So we utilize different policies on mortgage protection side. So we're able to make sure those houses are completely taken care of, so our families don't have to struggle when it comes to our finances. So we have a lot of different tools that we can utilize to help a lot of different families and educate them in different ways. It's all about individuals reaching out a little bit, trying to connect, set up some one-on-one appointments. We have offices in all 49 states, including Puerto Rico, right? So we have offices everywhere, but at the same time, just like we are here right now, we operate on Zoom at any time, so we can connect whatever schedule is more convenient for yourself. So we can help everybody out.
And I did recognize that having you talk with active duty military that are transitioning currently is a huge benefit, as you did talk with a friend of mine, Chris.
Yes,
So
correct. Sorry.
he was really excited to learn that there were options for him, and a little disappointed to learn, that he couldn't carry over, or that the VGLI wasn't going to be affordable within, a certain amount of time. So, but the fact that their solution is incredible.
Yes, correct. No, and this is the other thing that some people don't realize. They can still apply for some of these tools, right? While they're still in the military. I'm gonna share a quick story with you, Christine, if you don't mind. I have a friend of mine before I even got to the industry. So when I sat down and talked to him, he like, "Oh my God, I heard of this because of his ex-wife." Ex-wife was military as well. But they were out in a field exercise. They were sleeping in tents. It was a bad thunderstorm. the tent got hit by lightning. Well, a bunch of the individuals actually got electrocuted. Thank God nobody passed away, right? Couple people got some minor injuries, and of course the military is taking care of them, right? U.S. Army, the Army was taking care of them, which was great. But she actually had one of these new style life insurance policies, and she was able to accelerate $100,000 of her policy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how she bought her first house. Because
And
that
again, wait, what did you just say she did? So with that money, you can do what?
because that money is not restricted for medical bills. That money is accessible due to a medical condition, but you're not restricted to utilize it for one specific thing. So she ended up purchasing a house. That was big down payment for a house. So it can be utilized in a bunch of different ways, right? So not necessarily just to pay medical bills. Pay your mortgage, pay your rent, go buy a Ferrari, whatever case fits your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. There was this lady, uh, sad story that happened a couple years in one of our offices. She was diagnosed with a health condition, and doctor told her she has 12 months to live. So very short amount of time. They told her there was no way out. I believe she had like stage 4, stage 5 cancer or something like that. So she was like right there where she needed to start like going to the hospital and kind of get hospitalized. She didn't have told her family, and what she actually did was took out her family, his entire family, for a vacation, fully paid by her. And like, well, how did she get the money for the vacation? It's because she accelerated the death benefit of her policy, took her whole family for a month vacation, all paid by her, spent all the best time that she could with all her family. Then after that, she told them the bad news, but due to that policy, she was able to spend the best time before it was gonna be the end of the time.
That's
So
beautiful.
sad story, but at the same time, if you don't have something like that, you don't have the opportunity to spend that time with your loved ones,
Yeah,
right?
this is a really important thing, an important solution and option for veterans, especially with some of the other things that they, have to face or walk through, or the challenges that are happening right now, which we will talk about later in this forum. That to have that financial piece covered is such a huge assurance.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, and a lot of times as well, we have a lot of vets, a little bit more senior vets, right? Did their time in the military and they're already getting ready for that retirement. The last baby boomer turned 59 and a half on December of 2023, right? So they already have access to some of the money, or they have some old retirement accounts, and they have no idea what to do with them, right? If you leave in a retirement account and one of those investments accounts that you're not using it, you're not touching it, you're not managing it, right? You're not pouring money into it, it's not growing as much as it should, because nobody's moving it around for you. And there's still fees that you gotta pay to those accounts, right? So one thing we were trying to do is actually protect that money, protect those assets from those individuals. So this is great because God forbid, whenever the time comes, if the individual passes away, it pays out to the beneficiary, right? And avoids probate. That's a big one. Avoids probate, right? Uh, Completely guarantee that you won't lose a single penny if the market goes down. When the market goes up, you participate in the gains of the market, right? And it could have a lifetime income, literally a lifetime, meaning that you'll never run out of money. It's the only product. It's the only product that can give you a guarantee, right? And it's called fixed index annuity. Annuity is basically a retirement plan that you own yourself. The great thing is just it has guarantees. So we're trying to educate people how to do with their money. If you have $500,000 in a 401k, how long is it gonna last you? Now, if you have $500,000 in a fixed index annuity, they give you a guarantee income. You're never gonna run out of those $500,000. So that's the difference, right? That's the difference of just having a little bit of education and putting your money on the right products, so you never run out of money.
Right products and the right company.
That is true. That is true. And we do work with some of the best companies out in the United States, some of the biggest, strongest companies. We are a brokerage, so we represent about 20 different carriers. Companies like National Life Group, the first actually life insurance company that was established in the United States, been in business for 176 years. Amazing company. Fun fact, you seen the movie Titanic, right?
Yeah.
That was the company that paid out the policies for some of the individuals that are on Titanic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so companies like that, Foresters, American National, North American, Fidelity and Guarantee work with a lot of different companies. They have different products for different individuals. So we always able to help everybody out. So it's not hey, you're gonna try to sell this one product, you're gonna push this one product. No, we have a lot of different options for a lot of different individuals. So like that, we can actually tailor the product that they need. So their needs are met. They're not trying to sell something to them. They're trying to find out what the needs and take care of those needs for those individuals. And especially the vets pick up information pretty quick. Once they have the information, they're gonna know what's gonna be the best for them, and we're gonna be there to guide them. So that's exactly what we do.
That's wonderful. Do you want to open the forum?
Yes, yes, definitely. Any questions?
All right. If you guys don't have any questions, please feel free to unmute. I know, we have a lot of other topics. Yes, yes, please, Roy. We have a lot of other topics that I know are very important to talk about while we're on.
Well, nice to listen to you, Mr. Becerra. I really like what you have to say. It is very difficult to have financial discussion with real young, immature armed people who are serving the armed forces. Uh, they spend it before they get it,
Yes.
and that's a big problem. I think what you're doing should be an ongoing program. I think the DoD should support it. I think every serviceman, every servicewoman should have uh, a quarterly um, meeting or instruction on financial awareness. You know, that way they can become more focused because all it takes is a few people to get involved and say, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and you start a wildfire. Before you know it, no one wants to be left out of the game, even if they're only 20, right? All of a
Right.
sudden you realize, wow, I can become a wealthy man by starting now. And I think what you have to offer is amazing. I think the DoD needs to pay attention to that. I think the armed forces need to pay attention to it because what's happening right now, and I don't know, Mr. Becerra, you agree with it, but I mentioned this to Christine. Financial institutions prey on our young servicemen and women immediately. As soon as they're able to get that automatic, you know, uh, check paid into their bank account, they're given credit cards, debit cards, automobile loans, loans to purchase the motorcycle dream bike of their life. Next thing you know, they're deployed and they're not making their payments. In my day, we didn't even pay taxes, so we didn't have to worry about that. But I think there needs to be more financial awareness. What you're doing is a wonderful thing. I think uh, if a guy can hear what you're saying, they'll realize that, I can prepare for my future. And this might even help them to realize, you know what? I may survive this whole thing. And if I make it, right, if I make it, I want to have money. And but I think what you really need to say to these young vets who are married, servicemen and women who are married, when you present to them, you know, you tell them the truth. You say, if you really love your wife and children, you want to make sure you do this for them, so they can go on without you. If something should happen, it's true. That this is great. I really was listening to what you had to say, uh, and I think once again, young men need more financial education who are serving, active duty, and it needs to be a part of their training program throughout their service. Thank you.
Definitely agree with you, Roy. So Unfortunately, they don't provide that. They really don't provide that. I know now. I was talking to a couple young Marines. They're still currently serving anywhere between 1 to 3 years of service, and they're all getting automatically enrolled into the TSP, and that is it. They really don't explain to them what a TSP is, which is basically a 401k. They don't really tell them too much. They know they're getting a match, but they don't tell them nothing. They don't realize they're able to go in there and control those funds. Uh, they don't know realizing like I talked to one of the young kids, like 19-year-old kid, um, young Marine, and he was putting about 10% of his paycheck onto the TSP. I'm like, great. I'm like, how much percentage are they matching you? Oh, 5%. Okay, so you're just adding some additional 5% into your TSP. There's different places that you can put the same 5% to grow completely separately. So it's not just locked down there. There's different types. You can go a direct investment, you can go some type of life insurance investment plan, go life insurance index account, some annuities, different type of products, right? Either with something that we do or something that some other companies do. Because I definitely don't try to have everybody come to me. Sometimes they need something else that I might don't have, but I'll make sure they have the right connections because everybody has different needs, right? And different risk tolerance as well. If somebody's very risky, they can go into the market, but try to go to the market with the right companies. So definitely, Roy, definitely agree with you, sir.
There's definitely a need to talk more about this and have more collaboration with the resources in different veteran communities that are having these conversations and maybe haven't had these conversations in a long time. So maybe we can spark this up by sharing. Definitely. And Roy, that kind of brings me into when there is that pitfall or that struggle of financial instability that just brings you closer as a veteran to other things that you may be dealing with. And I know that you have a passion to stop veteran suicide. And I would love to hear you share a few words on that.
Yeah, I'm sure Miss Becerra has heard enough on this and all the other guests, but one of the problems that I've observed, especially with the Native community, and then observing veterans as they're going through services, trying to get their benefits, is that things are not don't come in a scale that they can deal with, not as they're used to in training. There's always a mission. It's always mission driven, and you keep going till it's completed. And that thought process is what they carry out. And when someone is not engaging with them in the same way, they become very, I'd say, hostile, sometimes angry, frustrated, and it becomes to become a layered kind of insult, one thing after another. And if they had no education on financial awareness, then then that's it. It's a bit bitter situation. No money, returning most of the time to live in the home that you left when you joined up, which is your parents. Uh, no jobs that are available, and you might be in the situation where now you're even having to pay child support because the divorce was involved while you were in the military. There's so many layered things that drive it. So my passion is to make certain that you know, our assemblymen and congressmen start to pay attention, start to listen, and realize that everything that the government and the VA is saying and the DoD is saying is really not solving the problem. The reports are not even out right now. There are no reports on servicemen, active servicemen and the amount of debt they're carrying when they are separated from active duty. Uh, they probably have the records, but they hold the records. They don't want that news getting out. You know, in fact, I think there's only one report that states, well, only 35% actually are having financial problems, and nothing could be more untrue. You know, so my thing is I'm going to start engaging more and more with representatives, making noise, making them realize that, we want you to bring change to the Department of Defense. We want you to be the voice of the veterans who are coming home. We always remember veterans on Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Gold Star families, you name it. POWMI flag goes out soon. Before you know it, but we're not concentrating on the things we need to concentrate on. Is that to make sure that when they get home, they can re-engage into the a community, be proud of what they've done, and be financially intact, so they can find a place to stay, support their families, you know, uh, have families. Some young men and women don't even want to have children, when they get out because it's a financial situation. How are you going to grow a family if you don't have finances? So there's a lot about going on about it, and I'll be talking to Assemblyman about this very subject. I'm going to bring up Mr. Becerra, what he's been talking about. It's there. The solution is there.
Yeah.
So why not let's drive it? You know, uh, and they have to know. I know a congresswoman who she was the incumbent. She should have been reelected, right, in Orange County. She was not. You know how close? Less than 100 votes. So we need to remind them that it could be less than 100 votes that either carry you across or makes it impossible for you to remain in office. And now she's experienced it. So veterans engage with politicals, assemblymen, and congressmen. We start to get involved with senators and tell them what is happening, that we're looking for champions. Then we can get people like Mr. Becerra to come forward and start to explain away what could be one of the fundamental answers, and that's for them to be financially sound and see a future for themselves. And another thing, most importantly, I feel, is that most young people don't realize that life insurance you have at the job for maybe you're paying $15 a month in it, well, you lose it. I don't care if it's 10,000 or 15,000. You lose that life insurance when you change jobs.
Mhm.
And now you're 10 years older. And now you get another job. You take out another employer insurance package. You pay into that. Something better comes around, you get more education, you leave that job. But now you're older. And that life insurance plan money does not follow you. It's all gone. All gone. Thanks.
The education is important, and
Yeah.
veterans' voices being heard now
Yeah.
is so important. There's so many issues that, need to be discussed, and you're right. And sometimes, not everybody knows how to go to their local assembly person or to confront the DOD. But I think having conversations like these online, within the media, within our communities, is a big, important part of the solution, or creating that collaboration
Mhm.
to become the solution.
Right, right. Exactly. Yeah. I was fortunate, and was able to leave I was married, left active duty, went into the reserve. Fortunate that my wife was working, giving me an opportunity to figure out what I was going to do now and look around. And then eventually, one job led to another, and I decided to go to school. And but I wasn't alone. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Think what would happen if I was alone. You know,
not have done it.
that career path would probably never happen. So either you have a lot of education in terms of what to do to prepare for your future,
Mhm.
or you make smart decisions when you can take the same information Mr. Becerra was talking about, and was as you're a young married couple, right? And then work harder together for your future. So I like this. This is very good. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Roy, for sharing. Suzanne, would you like to share anything? I know you're incredible. And it's open forum. And if you're sharing right now, you're muted. So Omar, how can people find you?
How can people find me? They can literally get me on Facebook, Instagram, You can find me on TikTok, even though I don't really use it that much. Or just directly on my cell phone. My cell phone is always there. Especially on our agency, we don't operate with 800 numbers. So Christine, you're free to share my number to anybody. You can put it in the chat or tag it on there. My number is 714-679-8822. My Instagram and Facebook is omar.f.becerra. So super easy. You can find me anywhere.
And definitely, if you're in a veteran community locally, Omar will meet with you, work out a workshop live, or he can do just like this on a Zoom, on a live stream, anything to get this education out there.
Yeah, we
I-
do host some separate events too. So if you're looking into just get some financial education and maybe making some additional income at the same time, we do host some different trainings in our offices. So you guys are more than welcome just to connect with me. I can put you guys on our guest list, come in, see exactly what we do, how is it that we help on families, and how can you help yourself financially? I mean, in your pocket, right? Because it's great helping families, but it's great actually making money at the same time. And quick little tip right there. If you look at what is the industry that creates the most millionaires in the United States, it's financial services. Life insurance is 68% of it.
And you're in Santa Ana, correct?
Our office is located in Santa Ana, Orange County, California. If you're familiar with Orange County, we're literally down the street from Mansaucos Plaza Mall. So we're in a very kind of known central area in Orange County.
Okay.
And
And
Suzanne?
we do have offices in all 49 states, including Puerto Rico. So we have plenty offices. If you don't feel comfortable connecting in a Zoom, when I go to a actual office, I can definitely connect you with somebody from any of the offices that we have.
Oh, I got my mute fixed, so I just wanted to say thank you so much for what you do. Do you do this for anybody who's not a veteran or just for veterans?
Everybody, our goal is to help every family in the United States, either through financial tools or with in financial education, or helping them with the opportunity to join the industry and actually make some money.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Yeah, there's a lot of people in need of financial assistance and working systems and stuff from all the wildfires. And so knowing that you're there in Santa Ana, maybe Christine, next time we have an event, which I hope is soon, to spread the word about our K9 armor, and we can make a lot of people come and do some little introductions and just network, and you never know who knows who. So thank you for the work that you do. And thank you, Christine, again for all the wonderful speakers that you've had through the years. I always learned something personal. I didn't know there was a living benefits to life insurance. Is that also for only veterans, or is that something now that insurance companies have finally realized that if you're terminally ill, that you would rather get some of that money now?
So so our company is a public company, right? So we work with carriers in the United States. So it's not just for veterans; it's for everybody. It's just myself as a veteran, I kind of try to focus on giving the education to the veterans because they don't really have it, right? But we're here to help everybody in the community. Doesn't matter if you're white, pink, purple, whatever color, whatever ethnicity, however you identify yourself. We're here to help everybody. So. And when you mentioned you weren't familiar about living benefits, that's something fairly new to the industry. No, like last year new, but not every company carries it. Not every product has it. So what we try to do is educate families on having the right product. Because some people might have, hey, I have a life insurance for $500,000, but do that company has living benefits? No. What's the difference? Oh, it's the same price. Well, why
Yeah,
not get the
oh,
one that
that's
has
great.
the benefit, right? Or maybe it's an extra 5 cents. Well, or maybe it might be a little bit more affordable. It all depends on the individual because everybody's a little bit different.
True. But I was an EMT for quite a few years and took training in how many firefighters and police officers also tend to get exposed to a lot of toxic and nasty chemicals from having to search for people who don't care where they hide. So they hide in nasty places where the officers on 2 legs and 4 come down with those kinds of diseases, and the firefighters certainly. So finding out that there is an option that they should explore, you should definitely come and rub elbows with some of the people in charge of educating. And again, they're also the physically fit that hire young kids out of high school who maybe haven't even finished getting a 4-year degree. And so instead they join the military or become a police officer or a firefighter because they're physically fit, and then they get a pretty good salary, but they don't know what to do with it. So you're doing a wonderful thing. So thank you for helping to protect the first responders and just anybody that needs financial help. I think besides death, I thought the other one was taxes. So thank you for covering both of them. So thank you, Sarah. Appreciate all that you do. And thank you,
Yes,
If
Kristen.
Omar didn't say it, and I think he did, but I'll just say it again. PHP is people helping people.
Ah.
Definitely
yes.
an amazing company. And Suzanne, yes, you're right. We are overdue for a vesting ceremony. So what that is, you guys, is a really amazing time where we get to go to the department with that donated vest that either your business or your personal pocket paid for. We bring it down to that department with the dogs and the amazing officers or fire, if the fire has a canine at that location. And we'll have a ceremony. We'll get to thank you. They get to thank you. They get to share the importance of it. Community will come out. And that's something that you guys can do. So if you are interested in investing a canine in your area, you can choose. Suzanne is incredible. Canine. And then we'll definitely have a vesting ceremony in your area and have Omar come out. That would be really fun. Have PHP come out, Angie too.
Yes, great. That would be amazing. But yes, Suzanne, I know you mentioned about law enforcement. We actually have, and I personally have law enforcement officers as clients of myself. So we do cover everybody. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you do, what type of job you have. We're here to help everybody and give them some of that education. So yes, again, and as well, we actually have in our company, we actually have law enforcement working as agents doing the business in a part-time way. That's what kind of mentioned early. Some individuals might just want to make some additional income as inflation is being hitting up higher and higher, and some money is not the same what it used to be before, right? So they just might need some additional income. So some people just get a license, work the business in a part-time way, and make any $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 extra a month. It doesn't really hurt.
I'll say, thank you so much for all you do.
So you guys, we have about 10 more minutes left that we're going to stream. If there's any other last minute topic, I know that all of you guys are doing something. Maybe there's an event, a resource of for veterans that you want to share. Maybe your website once again, or a way to connect. Please give this time to do that. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Christine Mantilla. I can be found on Instagram at Christine_Mantilla, Mantyla, and I'm the board secretary for an organization called Patriots and Paws, which gives free home furnishings to veterans, active duty, and reservists at no cost. We also host this live stream, the series. We do this the third Wednesday of every month, same time, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And if you go to MIL, MIL, the number 2, and VET, VET, on YouTube, you're going to find a ton of videos, transitioning stories, and much more to continue, speaking and educating and sharing these just things that happen or, are going on in the veteran community right now. Some are amazing and some are things we need to keep talking about so we can make some huge change. So please, you guys, share your sites, your tags, your social once again, so that everybody has an opportunity to connect with you. Whoever would like to go.
If I might say something, currently I'm involved, Native American Made is involved with digital health technology. The technology is called Dr. Kumo Connected Health Technology. You can go on to drkumo.com. And the reason I got involved with them is because many of the veterans in this country live in rural communities, not just natives who live on reserves who are veterans. And what is going on is chronic illness is climbing among that age group, and it's not as much as you see it now, like you see it now, where It currently could be someone 69 and older, but now we have a younger generation and they are contracting chronic illness and they're not even quite 40 years old. And a big group of them are veterans. And the reason for that is, not getting the services required. Could be a lot of things, anything going on with their life. Uh, uh, we have to find a way to make sure that they are observed in a clinical setting, not just in a clinical setting, but can use this technology from their home. And this technology gives them the opportunity to take care of themselves at home, and that the data live streams to the dashboard of their physicians. I know that the VA currently, that Dr. Kumo currently won the VA contract, so the VA will be rolling it out probably in the next year or so. Uh, they're in number one in cybersecurity. If you look at remote patient monitoring, you can learn a little bit about it, or digital health technology. And what I've been doing is I decided to take their program. I created an education program for young people who are in high school, who might be thinking about going into nursing, entry-level nursing, becoming RNs, maybe into medicine. My concentration, of course, is Native American youth. I want to see more Native American youth involved in medicine and the sciences. And so Dr. Kumo, with the help of Native American Made, created this program. And because we did, now they're able to take a online program, get a certificate as a digital health technologist, and carry that through into a nursing career. Because more office nurses are going to need to have education and training in this, because their physicians will be, prescribing it for their patients. And just think, a physician, one of the frustrations of a doctor is he can't see enough patients the way he wants. So if he can only see 25 or a day and feel pressured by that number, just think if he could realize now I can actually see 125 a day, because their information is live streaming to my office and I can see what is going on with the anomalies in their blood pressure, their respiration, their pulse rate, and to see if they're crossing any lines where they might need to acquire more meds or something, or some doctors found that they could remove medications from individuals uh, because they're able to observe them on the day to day. So this will make sure that these people will come to better health and not stay in a managerial type of situation where they never return to good health. And I want veterans to be as healthy as the day they graduated for boot camp, particularly. I want that for them, and I want them to have long lives. So our focus is, of course, veterans, and any of them who particularly live in, let's say, rural communities that are maybe 2 to 3 hour drive to a VA hospital. And we've already having success. I'm taking this to the Indian nations here in California, and just think, if we can do that, have the first annual Tribal Chairman's Conference on this, we can invite all kinds of people who are doing things for the veteran community, right? Mr. Becerra could be there with a group of people talking about it, because financial health is what? Is health.
Mhm.
Your financial health, it is your mental health. That's what it
Exactly.
is. They're the same thing. If you're not financially healthy, mentally, you're going to be stressed. Your sleepless nights, anxiety, frustration, you know, will lead to a clinical situation, right? So yeah, I can see Mr. Becerra being there, talking about what he can offer, because it is the same thing. Financial health is mental health.
Yeah, correct, correct. And Roy, so you mentioned chronic illnesses, right? That is one of the actual things that get covered through the living benefits, which is chronic illness. So it's a good source, right? Especially you mentioned a lot of individuals are getting a lot of this chronic illness since they're younger, hitting their 40s, right? You can actually, especially on a permanent type of coverage, you can actually insure a child as soon as they're 15 days of age.
Mhm.
So you can actually set them up since as soon as they're born, 15 days is what takes the Social Security to be issued, right? So as soon as they have that number, give them that policy, now have them set up for the rest of their future.
Yes,
at the lowest cost that they're gonna ever be, because it's gonna be the youngest and the healthiest.
that's right. That's right.
And with
Yep.
those accelerated funds for the chronically ill at 40, I mean, you can find a doctor, you can find better treatment.
Oh
You can
yes.
help out of that situation. So that's a very, a real possibility.
Mhm.
Definitely, we will have you guys hook up. More of these conversations need to be had both online and definitely live. And I'm looking forward to this first tribal meeting that's going to continue on
Mhm.
to help more veterans in that community as well.
It sure will. It sure will.
Well, thank you so much. All right, Omar, the information, incredible. We do need to keep having these conversations and spreading the word, spreading the information and collaborating. So I love that you guys were able to share individually what you do that's totally different and find a way to bring it together.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, if anybody wants to reach out, personal cell phone 714-679-8822 or at omar.f.becerra. That is omar.f.becerra.
Yay, thank you. And find us next month, veteranseriesforum.com. Share this
Will do.
information, connect with Omar, connect with Roy, and let's figure out how to keep these conversations going and go after solution with the DoD.
That's right. That's right. They're my prime target.
All right, let's go.
You okay?
I love it. All right, you guys. Have a great evening. See you next month.